Let's talk a little bit about release action in the golf swing. And the release action in the golf swing is probably the most important aspect of one's capability to hit a solid golf shot. We can talk for a half an hour and probably a day or two on release action because it is so important, and it doesn't really get the coverage and the discussion that we feel it should. But the release action in the golf swing, actually there are two release actions in the golf swing. We're going to be looking to develop the release of our arms in the golf swing, and we're also going to be looking to develop the release of our body in a golf swing. Now, most of the instruction that comes across does talk more about the body and what the body does during the golf swing. But first and foremost, we truly want to get a really good understanding of what happens in the golf swing as far as our arms go. Now, up until this point, we've talked a little bit about the angle in the golf swing, and that's your primary source of power in a golf swing. We're going to angular momentum, leverage in the golf swing is created between the angle formed between our arms and the shaft of the club. So we've talked about good ideas as far as setting the angle in the swing as you make your backswing. We've also talked a little bit about the swing path, and that has to do with the direction that we have that angle moving in. So now if you think about the arm release, what we want you to know is that it's going to have everything to do with rotation. With the release board, it really gives us a good understanding of what arm rotation in the swing really is. I could set up in a variety of different setups as far as my body is concerned. I could set up with an extremely closed stance or an open stance. I actually could stand on one leg and hit it pretty good because I have pretty good arm action in the swing, and that has to do with the rotation and of our arms as we swing the club through impact. So what we want to do is get you thinking about what good arm release is first. Then you can begin to increase your power, let's say, by working on the body. And that's what your more skilled players tend to work on the most, is getting their body to maximize the release action through impact. But first and foremost, we've got to get these arms releasing good. For instance, beginning players or folks that can't hit a solid golf shot, they typically create what's called the chicken wing, where what's happening as they come through impact is that the arms don't get rotated over, so they'll come through in an open position, and the only way they can continue to get the club through now is to use their body or release their body in such a manner that they'll get this chicken wing working. So when we're thinking about good release action, we have several drills back in the drill section related to different ways that you can think about and develop good arm release action. But it is to do with rotation very much. We want to start out just understanding that this is the action that we want to get working in a golf swing, where specifically the left arm or the lead arm, it'd be the right arm for a left-handed player, that lead arm is your release arm. So you want to develop the ability to get that lead arm rotating and turning over as you come through impact. The right side is really your hit side. That's the power side. And the right side will typically do a pretty good job of releasing on its own. It's just a more natural motion for us, it seems, for that right side to rotate and turn over as we come through impact. But the left side is your release side. And if we don't get that left side releasing and the right side is trying to release, then we get that breakdown in the wrists. It's almost like stepping on the brake in your car and the accelerator in your car at the same time. The right side is trying to release, the left side is not wanting to release, not rotating, and we end up having to use our bodies to swing the club on through. So with the release board, we can very effectively feel and develop this rotation. What we like to do, as far as hearing the weight in there, if we want to feel a load in the swing, we can set the angle like we've talked about in the swing, and we feel that we can hear the weight load at this point. And then as we drop the angle down through the impact area, this left arm will start rotating prior to impact, squares up right at the point of contact, and we'll continue rotating over so that we see the other side of the board, or we see the red released side of the board. So we can go ahead and feel the motion in bits and pieces, parts and pieces right there, simply by taking these nice little under the shoulder swings, feeling that release action. Also with the release board, another good drill that we like folks to do is you go ahead and let the weight load down in the bottom of the shaft, and you go ahead and make your motion continuously, and you're looking to hear that whoosh that the board is making as it comes to impact, and you want to hear that whoosh occurring at and just after impact. If we're hearing that whoosh back in here, we're releasing early, which is a cast. So very good drill, again, to feel the rotation and the release of your arms through the bottom of the swing with the release board. Also, what we want to make a point of is that as we release the club, we need that club working down the line. So the plane trainer device that we have down here at Woodhead is really a pretty good tool to feel the release of the club occurring down the target line. Quite often when folks do make an effort to get that left arm releasing, what that turns into is a pull to the inside or an over-the-top motion. So we have to combine both the release of our arms, the release of the angle with our arms, down and through the ball, down the target line. Okay. So release action is hugely important. As I said, need to get with your coach, your instructor, or your trusted source and quiz them and query them on their understanding of what release is and how they can help you better develop yours. Okay? All right. Thank you very much.